Some viewers may find this disturbing. Viewer discretion is advised.
Hi my loves, it's CHANGE.TROYCE and you're watching Choice TV, and for today's video, I wasn't going to do this video, but I figured I might as well. So if y'all haven't heard, Tyler Perry is being exposed for being a low-key freak, allegedly. Now, if y'all didn't know, Tyler Perry has already had a lawsuit from way back in the beginning of 2025. A man came forth by the name of Derek Dixon, who, if you guys didn't know, appeared in his TV show, The Oval Office. Derek Dixon came forth and he basically said that Tyler Perry did some very nasty things to him in terms of getting him in the bed, getting him alone, you know, fondling him, touching him all types of sort of ways.
No, I actually got shot.
He appeared in 85 episodes between 2021 and 2025.
Tell us about the first time you ever met Tyler Perry.
Yeah, I met him at his studio opening party in 2019. I was working for an events company, and we met, and he said to me, you know, are you an actor? And I said, well, not right now. I'm working on it, but not right now. And he said, yeah, you are. We need to talk. You should get my number and we'll talk about this.
Did any of your initial interactions give you pause?
You know, a few of them were did give me pause, but they weren't bad enough to think like this was a dangerous situation in the beginning. Yeah. According
to your lawsuit, at one point early on, he bought you a car.
Yeah, he'd seen my Jeep around the studio that I was driving, and he said, you know, that's not a great car.
Complaint includes multiple screenshots of text messages allegedly between Dixon and Perry.
Picture where he's on the jet ski. I said, nice picture, and he said, yeah, the water looks calm. And he said, nice picture. You don't see that stud in that picture? Rude. And I said, LOL, yes, that's a stud. And all these texts, I tried to, you know, de-escalate them and make a joke out of them.
Some of the messages more sexual in nature.
One of them says, what's it going to take for you to have guiltless sex? Have y'all found that in therapy yet? I would hope that you would let someone hold you and make love to you.
Now, the complaint also alleges that in January of 2020, there was an escalation from the text messages to Tyler Perry's behavior becoming physical. Mm-hmm. Can you explain that first alleged incident?
Yes. We were over at his house. We're having some drinks in his guest house, and it was late at night, and he has a guest quarters, and said that you can sleep there instead of, you know, not driving. And his house is far from Atlanta and where I was living. And I got into bed, and then I noticed that he climbed into bed with me as well and started rubbing my leg. It's a vulnerable thing to talk about.
Perry has not yet responded in court filings. In a statement to ABC News, his lawyer called Dixon a, quote, individual who got close to Tyler Perry for what now appears to be nothing more than setting up a scam.
Claims there was another incident at Perry's home in Atlanta in 2021.
He reached down and pulled my underwear down and grabbed my and I, you know, tried to stop him and pull back my underwear up, and he kind of grabbed my arms and said, no, it's okay. Just go with it. And I said, you know, stop, I don't want to be naked.
He says he distracted Perry and eventually locked himself in the bathroom. Dixon says the next day, Perry apologized and said he would help create a show that Dixon had written.
Yeah, it hasn't gone anywhere. He still owns the rights to it.
Dixon says he last spoke to Perry in spring of 2024. Then in January, he filed a complaint with the Equal Employment Opportunity Commission, an agency that protects workers from discrimination. A representative for Perry says Dixon then demanded a payment of more than $42 million.
You're asking in your lawsuit for damages totaling $260 million. How did you arrive at that number?
Part of that number is my lost job, my lost income, the loss of the show. The other part of that is a deterrent for, you know, how do you stop a billionaire who won't stop themselves?
And he said a lot of very awful things in this lawsuit. I'm talking about he went as far as to say that Tyler Perry did really weird shit where Tyler Perry would like hug him and then would like put his hands in his drawers and pull his drawers down and try to touch his area and all types of crazy shit. Then he said a horrific story about how, you know, Tyler Perry would lead him on because he's also a screenplay writer and an actor, and how he was trying to like pitch a pilot to Tyler Perry to fund and film, but Tyler Perry would like lead him on to make it seem like he was gonna film it, and so much more. Well, recently, 40-year-old Mario Rodriguez came forth, and he had a lot of similar accusations about Tyler Perry. And I wanted to get on here and talk about it. 40-year-old Mario Rodriguez is a popular actor and model who basically is pretty much an entrepreneur. He seems to be self-made, and he seems like he has a very good audience of his own. However, he recently, if y'all didn't know, came forth and filed a lawsuit as of today saying that Tyler Perry did some very nasty things, such as trying to grope him and touch him all types of crazy ways, and then even said that Tyler Perry went as far as to suggest that he needs to just let it happen and to deal with it, suggesting that he'll get what he wants eventually. He then went on his Instagram and he decided to break everything down and talk about why he was coming forth and then apologize about why it took so long.
For a long time, guys, I didn't want to say anything, and I wanted to tell you guys why I didn't want to say anything. But when it happened to me, I felt ashamed. I was scared because of the judgment and the questions that people were going to start asking, almost like if they were going to blame me for just being there. Well, I felt all of that, guys, when a very big director, a very seriously powerful person that everybody knows, invited me over to his house to talk about roles and upcoming things that he was writing. I was telling myself, like, man, like all of my dreams are coming true right now. Like my opportunities at my front door right now. So much excitement going through my body. And then, guys, it happens. You know, my boundaries were crossed. You feel like this person feels like they got power over you because of the situation and the opportunity that presented itself in front of you. And then you and how fear can somewhat keep you quiet and keep you silent. Well, I stayed quiet for much too long. And I just want to say I'm really sorry, man, because if I would have spoken up sooner, I could have saved somebody that this probably happened to after me. I just want to say sorry for that, whoever that may be. It could have stopped with me if I would have said something. But I do apologize, and I'm speaking up now and getting it out there and talking about it, most importantly, then so be it. And I just want to apologize once again, guys, because I'm sorry I can't really talk about more than what I've talked about right now. But I will be giving you guys an update very soon about the whole situation that happened in detail. So stay tuned. And thank you guys for hearing me out. I appreciate it.
So the first guy, Derek Dixon, is actually suing for over $200 million. Meanwhile, the second guy, Mario Rodriguez, is suing for $77 million, which leads me to believe maybe, just maybe, this is a shakedown to eventually get a settlement, even if they're telling the truth or not. So I did a deep dive on who Mario Rodriguez is, and he's actually an actor and has actually starred alongside many other actors like FouseyTube in the Boo special created by Tyler Perry during Halloween of 2016. And basically in his complaint, he alleges, and mind you, he also named Lionsgate in the lawsuit because he feels as though that Lionsgate, which is a multi-billion-dollar production company that Tyler Perry works with, are collaborators and essentially implying that they enable his behavior. He basically said on multiple instances, Tyler Perry would invite him over to his home under the guise of discussing future work projects, only to make sexual advances while drinking. In November of 2018, Tyler Perry allegedly grabbed Rodriguez's penis, and Rodriguez repeatedly told him, "Mr. Perry, stop," and Rodriguez had to physically struggle to get away from him. Perry allegedly would tell Rodriguez to let it happen, and if you were to just be with me, I would take care of you. Rodriguez's lawsuit claims that after 2 incidents, Perry allegedly apologized and handed him over $5,000 and sent him away. Then, as a final alleged encounter in April of 2019, more than ever before, it was clear that Tyler Perry would do whatever he wanted, whenever he wanted, to whomever he wanted, no matter how many times he was rejected by me. The lawsuit claims Tyler Perry would randomly reach out to Rodriguez through 2024, and when Perry would become aware that Rodriguez was going to file the action, Perry once again reached out to Rodriguez by text, telling him, "I did so much to help you," and he was feeling quote-unquote betrayed. Then this lawsuit came about, and honestly, I'll be real, what the fuck is wrong with these people constantly staying in contact with a predator that keeps grabbing at you? But we'll talk about that later in this video. I low-key believe both of these people, and I hope if they are telling the truth, they definitely do get their justice and Tyler Perry's held accountable. But I will say this, a piece of me can't help but say, why the fuck did both of these people keep in contact with Tyler Perry? It's giving very much that guy. I remember him, Christian Keys. If y'all remember, Christian Keys, I want to say back in 2023, I think, was an actor who basically has worked with Tyler Perry in the past and has been in the, low budget film industry for a while. And oftentimes you would see his face in a lot of movies and films that you would see on Netflix and Tubi. And overall, he said that he's been propositioned many times by a lot of Hollywood executives that would try to approach him, press him, all types of stuff. Overall, him being a good looking guy has made him a target for a lot of predators in Hollywood. And I'll never forget when Christian Keys said that he had a secret pen recording device because he was planning on, doing a project with this person, and then eventually the person was acting funny and he had like a secret recording, all types of weird shit.
No, and I don't want this person, as powerful as they are, to try to get in the way of my work. So I started recording. So I have them offering me money to take my clothes off. I have recordings when I wasn't working with them or for them. I have recordings of them confessing that, the other guys that they have on the payroll, all of the above. And the difference is, the wonderful thing about confidentiality agreements and non-disclosure agreements is that they can't prevent you from turning all of those things over to the police, because sexual harassment is a crime. Attempted sexual assault is a felony.
And then out of nowhere, I kid you not, he fucking disappeared. And we never heard about his accusations since. He even went around talking to Jason Lee and all types of people about who he was going to talk to. He said he had interviews lined up if necessary. And I'll never forget when he disappeared, because all I could think to myself is he did exactly what I expected him to do. Because why on earth did he continue to speak to an executive that did all types of weird shit to him, way back in like the late 2010s and shit like that, for years? I'm talking about like a decade. Like you were cool with somebody for a fucking decade. Like, I kid you not, the minute someone tried to like do a little something down there, you should have fucking ran for the hills, bitch. Like, what the hell are you doing? But then I thought to myself, money talks, and if somebody was willing to compensate him and make him stay quiet, then I don't blame him for taking the money, but I still have to side-eye that. It kind of relates to these two men that have recently came forth this year about Tyler Perry. And all I can think to myself is, why did both of y'all have like a promising career? I mean, the dude who's currently coming at Tyler Perry now, Mario Rodriguez, he literally starred in Tyler Perry's Boo. You know what I mean? Like, you were in a Tyler Perry film, you worked with him, you hung out at his crib and everything, and you stayed in contact with him numerous times and all this. I still have a lot of questions. Now, his court document hasn't fully gone public yet at the time of this recording, but he had a lot to say about the fact that Tyler Perry is a weird, creepy predator in the industry and he must be stopped. And he even said that he was going to come for anybody else associated with Tyler Perry, the people who fund him, because they allow this monster to become the monster that he is. Now, the reason we have people who've done really weird shit, like, Bill Cosby allegedly and Harvey Weinstein and many more people like Steven Tyler, is because there's a system that allows these people to become the monsters that they are, which means there's enablers and there's people that sit back and let it happen, all because they want to keep their careers. Like, for example, like, there are a lot of good-looking women out there who propositioned Harvey Weinstein. You know what I mean? Like, sometimes I look at the women who were in cahoots with Harvey Weinstein, and I think to myself, some of those women were definitely victims, but there was a good amount of them that allowed that stuff to happen. Like, some of them behind the scenes, they was like, okay, I'll do what I gotta do. I'll do a little, little tug and rub under the table if it means I could, like, quit my job as a barista at Starbucks and, be a big movie star like Carmen Electra and Cameron Diaz. Like, some people were willing to do these things. That's why sometimes I can't help but look at these two men and think to myself, y'all are being represented by the same lawyer, if y'all didn't know. They're being represented by the same lawyer. I think his name is Jonathan Dslr. He's representing both of them in terms of condemning Tyler Perry. I will say is that there's a lot of shady shit that goes on in the entertainment industry in terms of a lot of creeps and crazy people. But I will say that I can't help but sometimes think to myself, what if you actually got the show? Would you have ever said anything? This makes me think to myself, are there more people that actually got shows that never said anything? What's interesting is it's not even just the fact that he didn't get the show he wanted. It's also the fact that right now the industry is looking a little fuzzy. You know what I mean?
They're basically competing not necessarily against other streamers, but against the attention economy of where people are spending their time and their attention. To get people to go to a movie theater and have that collective experience, I think it has to be a big piece of IP that people really want to have that experience where they can laugh, cry, and smile with their friends.
First it was TV, then streaming and AI.
This is consolidation leads to fewer competitors, fewer choice, and therefore fewer buyers. So that's not great news, but you know, Hollywood technology has always challenged Hollywood, whether it's the advent of the VHS or television or the DVD.
Even for reality television, even for people who are influencers, brands are broke. You know, Cardi B said it the best. There are a lot of brands that aren't cashed out like they once were when it comes to movie. That's why you guys keep seeing all these fucking reboots, like Sonic and all these other reboots that nobody asked for, like Freaky Friday and all these movies like Lilo and Stitch, the live action. Like, there's a reason why you guys keep seeing these live action films continue over and over, because it's so rare for a lot of actors and entertainers nowadays to thrive. Which leads me to believe more and more as time goes on, that's why a lot of entertainers are coming out of nowhere, like Cassie or this person or that person. Hollywood is fucking dead. So back then, people cared about like, oh, am I ever gonna get work again? Will anybody ever take me seriously? You don't gotta worry about none of that shit. That's why you saw all the fucking entertainers, you know, trying to sue Diddy, and we're all up in that Diddy documentary. That's why you see all these entertainers coming forth saying they were assaulted, they were disrespected. That's why you see all these entertainers claiming that Lizzo did this and Lizzo had them stuffing bananas in their fucking throat and shit. You know, you can work in Hollywood and in the entertainment industry because now everything is digital. Everything's on TikTok. You don't really need a big major studio to back you because, hell, they don't even got brands backing them. Hell, Hollywood studios aren't even backing up other Hollywood studios anymore. Like, Hollywood is fucking damn near dead in the trenches. Everything is digital, so they don't give a fuck that they can't work if they expose a big multi-millionaire. They don't give a fuck because they probably wouldn't have worked with them anyways. So a lot of these people like Derek Dixon that wanted to pitch a pilot but never got what the fuck they wanted, all these people like Mr. Mario Rodriguez that said X, Y, and Z and this, that, and the third, like, this tells me alone that they know Hollywood is fucked over, so they want to get paid by any means necessary. Anything it takes to get a bag in Hollywood, they're gonna fucking do it, and they might actually fuck around and win this case if they're willing to shake Tyler Perry down and get a settlement. But all I can think to myself is, you went to somebody's crib 3 times, 3 fucking times, bitch. Like, again, like, all I'm going to say is I'm going to wait for everything to just unravel and unfold, because I don't want to be that person that tries to shame people before the real receipts come out. But what I will say is I want to see all this shit unfold, because both of these cases are still pending. Even the dude who filed this case in the summertime, you know, his shit is still pending as well. So we'll see how a lot of this unfolds in the near future. Let me know what you guys thought about my entire breakdown. Let me know if you guys think any of these people are telling the truth. And yeah, that's that. Like, comment, and subscribe. Choice out this bitch. You will always be, I say, fire to the rain, watch it burn, I right away, in this turn, and I say, fire to the rain, watch it burn. I set fire to the rain. That's all y'all get for free, and I don't even know the lyrics. Y'all have a good one.